Making a music video for one of the Black Eyed Peas was one of the biggest projects I've ever worked on so far. We had over 90 people on set, one day to shoot it, and by the end of the day, we had to cut entire scenes. It turned out that the setup that I was least confident about ended up becoming one of the best parts of the music video. And the thing that surprised me the most wasn't in the shoot, it was how it was put together on the edit. This is how we shot Wind It by Apple the App with Illest Morena featuring Fana.
Wind it, yeah. Wind it, yeah. Wind it. Boy, you got me so excited, excited, excited. Oh.
Before I jump in, let me introduce myself. I'm Kev. I'm a filmmaker and commercial director based in Manila. I've spent the last 10 years making films, commercials, and branded content. But honestly, one of the reasons I got into filmmaking in the first place was because I love watching music videos growing up. So getting to make one is always fun and special for me. Okay, let's jump into it. I got approached with the opportunity to work on this and co-direct with my good friend Juls Rodriguez. He's also part owner of Found Studios and good friends with Apple's crew. Fresh off the Black Eyed Peas Bebot resurgence, Apple's new song came to me with an idea already. They wanted to shoot a summer block party. As I listened to the song over and over, recurring visuals came to me. Heat, sweat, high-angle shots, and the silhouette of Apple standing in front of a giant sun. That image stuck with me. So I started collecting references on YouTube, eye candy and shot deck, then pulled everything together into a mood board on Milanote. From there, I started building out each artist's visual world. For Apple, everything revolved around this giant sun orb and these warm amber colors. For Fana, I originally wanted a lot of green, orange, and red. You'll see later that we actually changed that on the shoot day. And for Illest Morena, we leaned more into deep purples, blues, and neon green accents. These setups could be easily shot in the limbo space of the studio, but I still couldn't imagine what a block party would look like. And that's where I really started to lean on my team. My style of directing is really about creating an environment where people can do their best work and just play. After sharing the treatment deck, everybody started bringing their own ideas to the project. JA, our cinematographer, started developing how to craft and script the light for each artist. Paolo and Marshoe started figuring out the right gear, camera, and rigs to achieve each setup. G, our stylist, came up with these really amazing looks that paired well with our colors and lighting. Princess, our production designer, started conceptualizing sets, textures, and most importantly, how the block party would look like. I admitted to the team that I couldn't imagine it yet. We were standing in an empty garage when Princess pitched the idea of treating it like a tableau. Different little Filipino summer scenes happening at the same time as the camera moved through them, similar to Bad Bunny's Super Bowl performance. We slowly started piecing it together, but even as the shoot day got closer, I still couldn't fully see it. After days of prep, set checks, and meetings, it was finally time to shoot. The schedule was pretty simple. Early morning setup, first shot after breakfast, break for lunch, then shoot through each setup for an hour each until we wrapped around 9 p.m. On the call sheet, it looked great, but we were so wrong. Aside from it being the first time the team would be working together, this was also going to be the biggest shoot the studio had hosted up to that point. There were over 90 people coming in and out through the day. Artists, dancers, extras, staff, and crew. You can't help the delays at the start. Last minute changes, dropouts, miscoms, logistical problems, these all add up to a slow start. Thankfully, the production management team of Juls, Micah, and Hannah did their best to shield me from a lot of these problems and just handle them. I really appreciated that because it let us focus on the creative side and what was happening in front of the camera. Finally, 3 hours after we started the grind, we were ready to roll our first shot of the day. We wanted to start with some strong energy, so we went with Fana and the dancers first. We knew the setups would have the most movement because she carried the song's hook. We tried different camera moves, different ways of using the dancers, and even playing around with their blocking and choreography. After Fana, we moved on to Illest Morena. We built this environment around her that felt like a tropical dreamscape. We played with overhead shots, lighting effects, and some of the jewelry details since those were also part of the styling and brand integrations. By this point, we were looking at the clock and saw that the schedule was slowly starting to slip away from us. We panicked just a little, but first we had to focus on Apple. And this was the moment I had been waiting for. I remember seeing him standing in front of the giant sun orb for the first time and realizing that's the shot that I first imagined. For Apple's part, we played with reflections, wide lenses, and different ways of framing him against the sun. Then we brought in our secret weapon, the Lazy Susan, a rotating circular platform controlled by a motor. That ended up being one of our favorite tools of the day, and one that he used for a Black Eyed Peas video before. We got Apple comfortable standing on it while slowly rotating in front of the camera. We direct him to interact and touch the lens and vibe with the movement. It was simple, but it looked really cool. By the time we wrapped Apple's setup, we looked outside and realized the sun had already gone down. We were way behind schedule. We knew we had to cut some scenes. Plus, we still had the setup I was most worried about. By the time we moved to the garage, JA and Princess had already fixed the set and lighting, and I could fully see how this was exactly how a Filipino summer set should be. Dirty ice cream carts, shawmai stand, karaoke, tama, beer trays, electric fans, all the details and textures that felt very familiar and Filipino. I would never have imagined this if not for them. To save time, we decided to commit to doing it in one take and use it as the anchor for the whole sequence. After rehearsing the movement with stand-ins, we brought everybody in, and that's when things got chaotic. We had extras, dancers, artists, and crew all trying to work together inside a tight space, and everybody had to hit their marks at exactly the right point in the song. The first take wasn't perfect. Actually, I don't think any of the takes were perfect, but we kept rolling anyway. One thing I've learned is that you don't stop after making one mistake. You keep going because the rest of the take might be usable. Little by little, it started coming together. The artists and the camera started finding its rhythm. I also had to be the one on the microphone to hype up the crowd and shout for more energy as the party got wilder and hotter, just like the song. I think we ended up doing around 4 solid takes just before deciding to move on. They weren't perfect, but we knew it was enough. But we weren't done yet. And we still had to decide what we could realistically shoot before calling it a wrap. This is usually the point in a shoot where you have to start making decisions. Not what would be nice to have, but what do we actually need? The crew had already been grinding the whole day. We knew we could only realistically pull off one last setup. So we decided to do 2. The dressing room scene that had the jealousy windows in the same space. This was most definitely a shot we wanted to get. The dressing room scene concept was like a green room in the party where Illest and Fana would hang out. Right after getting their parts, we quickly turned to the jealousy windows. We wanted to create a scene where the windows would open and close and we would transition to each artist. We'd literally be shouting open and close while they perform. Close, open, close, open. And finally, after what felt like a very long day past midnight, it was time to call a wrap.
Alright guys, that's a wrap!
We didn't get every setup, but we had enough footage to make a music video. At least we hope we did, because the next part was completely out of my hands. Immediately after the shoot wrap, I kept imagining all the other setups we didn't get to shoot. I wasn't really thinking about what we got, I was thinking about what we didn't. But I had to trust that we gave our all in the shoot, and we had to make the most out of it. We were so lucky to have a talented editor in Inah. Having a female editor brought a feminine touch to the music video that I wasn't expecting, especially because we had 2 amazing female artists. The first passes were exciting because we could finally see the whole music video together, but it still felt like something was missing. After a while, I realized that sending notes online could only take us so far. We needed to sit in the same room and really cook. That's when things started to change and we were able to lock in the editing pace of the song. As the gritty colors started coming in, the different visual worlds became more distinct. The contrast got stronger, the grain gave everything more texture. Then Inah started to lay down her crazy thermal effects. The breakdown section leading into Apple's final verse was always one of my favorite parts of the song. This last verse isn't in the final version of the song, but we wanted to keep it in the music video edit because we had some special effects and visuals for it. And somehow through the edit, it became even better than what I remembered on set. And I realized, okay, we have a music video. Looking back now, I'm really happy with how it turned out. Of course, there are still things I wish we got to shoot. In filmmaking, you just make the best thing possible with the time, people, and resources that you have. So shout out to everybody who worked on this project and trusted each other enough to make something cool. Even if it was our first time working together, we somehow made something amazing. And thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want me to do more behind the scenes videos like this, let me know in the comments and leave a like on this video. I've got a lot more stories from films, commercials, and music videos that I'd love to share. Please subscribe and I'll see you on the next one. And if you haven't seen the full music video, you can check it out over here.